Hey, how
Hi,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Sorry about the mix-up. Thanks for working with me.
No problem. Sorry, I should have clarified that. That happens to a few people today.
No
Um,
problem.
but we sent out emails about that we've changed the time. So hopefully people come to the Zoom. But we also have a live, so we know some people come on there too.
Sounds
Um,
good. Sounds good.
I was just maybe put like a quick story once you start, so maybe people start joining. Yeah.
Yeah, today a majority of the people have been joining on the live, rather than the actual Zoom.
They've been joining live. Oh, is there a link?
Yeah, we sent out like a YouTube live link. It's on the Cura
Oh,
um
cool.
YouTube channel.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. So are we live right now?
Yes.
Oh, very cool. So what's up? How's everybody doing? So you
Good.
want
How are you?
good, good. So you want me to just kind of talk about myself a little bit, my journey?
Yeah,
Mhm.
just about your journey, your career, why you chose to go into pediatrics, just stuff to learn about pediatrics more.
Sure. So I'll just kind of talk about where I'm from. I started in California. I grew up there, and I went to school over there for my undergrad. I started out with a bio major, and then I switched to psych, and then I switched back, and then I just decided to do both. So I did bio and psych. Um, I then took a year off. I did some time in tutoring, making some money. I did a little bit of research, did a little bit of volunteering, and then I applied to medical school. I went to the Sackler School of Medicine, American branch, which is a charter school, a New York charter school in Israel, actually. So a lot of us end up coming back to New York to practice, which is where I am now. So I was out in Israel for 4 years and had a really great time. And now I'm out in Long Island, New York, and I'm in a residency called internal medicine and pediatrics. So basically, it's just it's another double major. A big theme with me is that I don't have a good, ability in making decisions. So I ended up doing two things a lot of the time. So I did decided to do both. So typically people do internal medicine or they do pediatrics. Um, and each of those fields that's my dog drinking in the background, if you can hear that. Typically, they each last about 3 years. Um, and together, the internal medicine pediatrics residency takes those 3 years and then combines them and does it all in 4 years. So that kind of made sense to me to do like an extra year for a whole nother specialty. I'll probably end up primarily working with adults, but I hope to have some pediatrics in my practice. It's really hard to once you're in a specialty. So once you graduate from a residency and decide to do even more specialization, it's hard to do both. The fact that the MedPeds program exists is pretty cool in and of itself to combine like two, residencies into one. So in any case, that's kind of a little bit about me. I'm a third year out of four now, and I'm just currently on a pediatric nephrology elective, which is um, just the kidneys and everything about the kidneys and working with people with kidney problems and kidney failure. So it's very interesting. I personally have an interest in going into the field of pulmonology and critical care, and yeah, that's pretty much my story. Is there any specific questions?
So would you recommend this career for anyone else?
The medical school, the medical doctor path, or
Hmm.
yeah, 100%. It takes a lot of hard work. So if you want something that's going to get you a lot of money and you're not going to have to work too hard for it, and It's not really the field. It's not like the way Grey's Anatomy and Scrubs and all those shows on TV make it out to be. It's a lot of hard work, long hours, and sure, people to call you a doctor, but at the end of the day, your job isn't about being a superhero. It's about working hard for your patients, and sometimes that means that you don't get a lot of nights off, a lot of weekends off. Sometimes that means you spend your days off studying, learning more, learning new research and technologies that are coming out for your patients. So it's a lifelong field. If you don't like studying, if you don't like learning, it's not the field for you. If you do enjoy learning, if you do enjoy helping others, if you value the quality of what you're doing over the quantity of what you're doing or the quantity of what you're making, then it's the field for you. If you like to solve puzzles day to day, figure out each patient coming in with a whole different history and a different physical exam and different lab values and vital signs and image findings, like on an X-ray, for example, and trying to piece a puzzle together and figure out what the problem or what the patient has, then it might be something for you. Um, but yeah, it's a great field. It's very competitive. So most people don't make it into the field because it is very competitive. But that's because a lot of people stop after they've applied to only USMD schools. There's also USDO schools, Doctor of Osteopathy, which is a doctor as well, just another degree. It's a little less competitive, and I recommend it to everyone. There's also the Caribbean and international schools where you can get your MD degrees as well. Those are typically less competitive, and you can still be a doctor in the United States. So if you don't have the perfect scores and you're worried, you should look into those options.
Thank you so much. Another question I got from the live was, which part of your job do you find the most satisfactory?
It's a good question. What part of my job is the most satisfactory? I like it when a patient is really grateful for what you've done, and it could be something as little as just giving like a one sentence like tip or piece of advice, and when just them being super grateful to you is makes the job very meaningful. um, and sometimes you put in a lot of work and they're not appreciative of you, and that happens too. But that's why a lot of your drive and your passion has to come from within. It should come from other people. So if you've got aunties and uncles and mommies and daddies telling you go into medicine, you don't want to do it. um, really, think about it, because this drive and this passion for this job, it really has to come from you. It's not something that you're gonna necessarily get from others. So
Yeah, thank you so much. So, what would be like a day in your life? So is it like all day you have to work, or is it like you get time off or breaks in between?
yeah, so day in the life is you wake up at like around 5 a.m. You walk your dog, you brush your teeth, da 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 da. You get to work around 7, hopefully after you've done your morning reading, and you go to the doctor who was watching your patients overnight. They tell you about any changes or things that happen.
Hi, I think you're frozen. Okay, then. Um, he had a power outage, so if you want to stop the live.